The city of Chicago is putting the finishing touches on preparations for the Democratic National Convention. Democrats are in a very different place than they were only a month ago when President Joe Biden was their prospective nominee.
They're looking very strong, and perhaps surprisingly so. This has been a big turnaround from where things were just a few weeks ago.
So I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation.
Soon after Biden announced he would not run for re-election, the party quickly coalesced around Vice President Kamala Harris.
Suddenly there is a lot of energy there. The party is very unified behind her. She's showing a lot of skills as a campaigner. I think clearly she was ready for this moment.
Seth Maskott of the University of Denver says the convention will provide Harris, who like all vice presidents has had a relatively low profile, an opportunity to define herself and running mate Tim Walz as reasonable, not extreme left-wing Democrats. A large TV audience is expected to tune in this week.
What needs to be done, at least at this convention, is really to provide the electorate broadly an introduction to Kamala Harris. I think we've gotten a little bit of that, but it's still only been a few weeks.
It was here in Chicago that protesters clashed with police during the 1968 Democratic Convention, primarily in opposition to the Vietnam War. Protests over the Biden administration's support of Israel amid its war in Gaza are expected in the streets around the United Center this time around.
Our officers have been training for over a year. Our federal, state, local partners, county, we're all working in collaboration to make sure that the city is safe and secure.
Kamala Harris is getting a little bit of deference on this, just because it's a new person. We don't know how different her policies would actually be in office, but she has at least voiced somewhat more sympathetic views toward Gazans.
Harris is expected to lay out broad themes of her campaign and stress her values during her convention speech on Thursday. But one political analyst says she'll have to address issues like Gaza, the economy, and immigration more in-depth later.
That's something that is going to need to be done in a debate and also in a sit-down interview. This can't be just a plastic television campaign.
The switch in presidential candidates has Democrats riding a wave of momentum at the moment.
They look to be in pretty good shape, while, Republicans look to have been caught somewhat flat-footed by all this.
We'll see you later.
The Trump ticket has not been doing a lot of campaigning and has been very disorganized in their messaging.
With Biden out of the race, polls show Donald Trump's statistical advantage with prospective voters has mostly vanished.
A year or two ago, I've said that if either party chose somebody else than their presumptive nominees, they would have a good chance.
Democrats now find themselves in that position. Chicago is an opportunity for them to make their case to, among others, undecided voters in a handful of so-called swing states that are expected to decide November's election. Hendrik, Sybrandy, CGTN, Denver.